Hey! Hey, dude, where we going? Whoa! What? Dude! It's a little rocky back here. Dude! Whoa, what? No. Oh, God. Crackers. Please, don't. Ugh. I also thought I asked for my drink, like, about an hour ago. Now it's been 4 days and I still haven't got my goddamn drink. You know what? I'm putting a stop to this. Why? Ah! Hmm. Gotta get up there. And tell him off about this. Ugh. Hey, I'm out. Now to get in this car. Hmm. Come on, me. Whoa! Ah! Okay. Whoa! Whoa! By the way, all you lovely viewers who are watching this video thinking, oh, what drink was it? Whoa, that was cool! Bread flip! But it was a cheese wine. And for those of you that don't know, it's actually, grilled cheeses. It's a very expensive drink. Alright. Time for you to get your just desserts for your misdeeds, you son of a bitch. Whoa. Whoa, it's almost like anti-gravity. Ah, you son of a bitch. Hey, bitch! Jesus, dude. Just wanted my drink. Alright. Alright. So that was the true ending. Bossa Studios UK? Oh. Thank you for becoming toast. Alright. Now what I'm gonna do now, because this video is so short, is actually go through each of these and read them. So, first one is on Monday. Come on, load. Okay. Mr. Merton spent most of the session talking about his past, mainly focusing on his failed business, Merton's Merchants, and the subsequent divorce of his wife Barbara. He moved on to threatening the council again, as well as the local carpet world. The session ended with him angrily stating that he was going shopping with the intention to eat himself to death. Well then, he appears to be dealing with multiple stress points and focusing all his anger towards the council, to which he still claims they're responsible for the downfall of his business. I believe him now being employed by the council as a street cleaner is exacerbating the issue. I've suggested he accepts that at this time things are going away, but a positive outlook is imperative. We have another session booked for tomorrow. The shopping trip should take his mind off events while I review some potential solutions. Alright. God, that clock is loud. Now for day 2's little report. Mr. Merton was very distressed throughout this session. He arrived early, exclaiming that his house had been broken into, but there were no signs of forced entry, and the assailant had only been in the kitchen. He had not reported it to the police, as he believes the council were tormenting him and the police would be in on it. It took 3 subtle hints that his 60 minutes were up before Mr. Merton ended the session. I advised Mr. Merton to clear his head and his kitchen, specifically moving things into the lounge. Hopefully this will trigger his memory. It is a very worrying development. Clearly he cannot recall the incident in his kitchen. I will review his diagnosis with colleagues and perhaps consider appropriate medication. In light of this, I have scheduled another session for tomorrow. Alright. Now Wednesday. Mr. Merton was again distressed during this session. He claimed his lounge had now been broken into. He relayed his suspicions and believes he had discovered that the culprit is leaving a message by placing a singular slice of toasted bread in the room. He claims the kitchen had a similar incident, but it never stood out to him at the time. He then appeared to be in deep thought for several minutes and left, saying he was going to test a new theory that just came to him. Mr. Merton's condition seems to be deteriorating rapidly. The stress and paranoia are leading him to destroying his own home, in what appears to be blackouts, leaving him with no memory of the incident. His fixation on blaming a slice of toast must be some sort of manifestation of his hate of the council, as the blackouts seem to be occurring as soon as he gets home from work, going to increase the patient's condition to severe. Will now maintain daily sessions for his own safety. Okay. So that's why the loaf is actually in the bedroom now. Because he's testing out a theory of what could be going on. Wait. Day 4. Okay, day 4. I would have skipped an entire day. I was like, wait. Alright, let's see what day 4's report is. Mr. Merton came in very panicked this morning. He told of his theory of the bread was somehow responsible for the incidents. He then described how he placed a loaf of bread in his bedroom and returned from work to find his bedroom had also been upturned, with a singular slice of toast sitting among the mess. He left saying today would be the day he was sure his theory was correct. I proceeded to remind Mr. Merton that he was making some very absurd claims and asked him to calmly take a step back and consider what he was saying. I know from previous sessions that Mr. Merton's home is not kept in the best condition. I suspect he is experiencing moments of realization regarding this loaf. I'm not exactly sure the meaning behind it. It is clearly not real, and I'm having trouble coming to a suitable solution for him. Regardless, I played along and advised that he should throw this loaf out, both physically and mentally. My hope is this will allow him to stop blaming his situation on bread, and we can move forward with the treatment. Well, the thing is... Hang on. No, not the floor. I tried to get it in the sink. I'm trying to get this frickin' bread in the sink. Seriously, I have not had a sink death. Jack has, and I want to have some kind of sink death. That sounds bad. Come on, bread. Into the sink. Yeah! Epilogue, reports, and a sink. 7 reports, 1 epilogue, and some very soggy toast. And some very soggy bread. That's going to be the title of this video. 7 reports, an epilogue, and a soggy slice of bread. And now there's a frozen screen. Great! Never mind. I felt it was important to document today's events, despite no official session, as Mr. Merton showed up at my house shouting he wasn't crazy and that it was the bread all along. Clearly unhinged, I quietly told him to leave his car here and come with me to the office for another session. I rang ahead and arranged security to be ready. On the way to the office, he described how he'd locked the bread in the bathroom, and when he went to get home, a single slice had managed to make itself into toast. Apparently, this was all the evidence he needed. We arrived at the office, where I promptly had my men take Mr. Merton to a secure location. It was not safe to have him go home or be left by himself. He was immediately very distressed, but mainly because he said the bin men were arriving tomorrow and the loaf was in a bin in his garage and had to be destroyed. He only calmed down when I promised to take the bins out for him when I dropped his car back at his house. I had already called in some specialists and I will visit Mr. Merton tomorrow. I fear these sessions are the only normality he currently has in his life. Damn. I also hope everybody has noticed. I hope that everybody is also noticing that the bread loaf is getting smaller and smaller. It's because it's only this loaf. It's not the same slice of bread. It's a different slice of bread every time. I visited Mr. Merton today. Despite his drowsiness from the medication we administered yesterday, we went ahead with the session. He was very adamant that I detail exactly what I saw when I dropped off his car, and if I had seen any slices of toast in the garage. I didn't recall seeing any toast, though once I mentioned that some of his appliances were turned on, he became very alarmed. I tried to calm him down by mentioning that I did place his bins outside, and while I did look at the loaf, and it seemed like it was just an ordinary loaf of bread. He relaxed for a few seconds until I specified that I had left the loaf on top of the bins. This sent Mr. Merton into a panic as he lashed out and attempted to escape the room. Unfortunately, I had to end the session early by calling in security to restrain him. Clearly, the medication isn't working. Mr. Merton still truly believes this bread is somehow taking on a life of its own to become toast. When you say it out loud, it becomes clear how far his mental state has fallen. I think it's best if I hold off on the session while I investigate some alternate treatments, as the current methods are evidently not working. Okay, how do I get myself into the water? Alright, let's... Didn't work. Come on, bread, come on. Yeah! Shit. No! Almost had it. Fuck it. Alright, last one. After a night of distressed shouting about a loaf of bread needing to be destroyed, the patient in question, Mr. Merton, was able to overpower 2 security guards at 8:37 a.m. this morning while breakfast was being delivered. He made his way through the facility and left through a hatch in the service's lift. Mr. Merton was last seen running across a car park where he subsequently jumped the fence. The security guards called 999 at 8:55 a.m., at which point Mr. Merton had already left the premises. His therapist and all authorities have since been notified and are currently coordinating a search of the local area. And as you can see with this other part of bread here, there is room for just one slice left. Oh God! I'm making myself flip. Acrobat bread here. Woohoo! Woo! Woo! Who knew all you needed to do was just kind of flip around and just... And then the finale. It isn't a report, but is in fact a note. It was the bread. It's always been the bread. It needs to become toast, and it will stop at nothing. My house was the start, but it won't be the end. I was forced to escape the therapy barn. I should have destroyed the bread while I had the chance. Now there's been an explosion across town, and I know it's the bread. I'm going to find that cursed loaf and end this once and for all. Epilogue. It doesn't even say become toast. Yeah, there it is. That last slice. When am I gonna get the cheese hunt, rampage mode, and bagel race? When am I gonna get those? Alright, I guess that's the end of I Am Bread. I'm guessing that's the end of the mobile version, but there is a PC version that has all the things that I discussed. And I'm guessing that those things are only there if you've completed Cheese Hunt, Rampage Mode, and Bagel Race. But, you know, I don't get those things. I kind of would have liked to have Cheese Hunt and Rampage Mode, because then you can just destroy everything, just break shit. But that's it for this episode, the final episode of I Am Bread. I will see you guys on another game. Goodbye, guys. Wait, can we have one more? I